By the end of this series, you're going to understand how jazz harmony works, how to use diatonic substitutions, secondary dominance, sub-fives, modal interchange, and all the shit they try to teach you at Berklee for 4 years. So bear with me, we are going to explore Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So before we start, we gotta take a look at how we analyze music and really break down some basic concepts. The first thing we're gonna do is understand the 4 levels that we can analyze music with. The first resolution, which is really the lowest one in a lot of ways, is note name. People constantly ask me, do you think about note names or intervals when you play? That's like asking a handyman, do you use hammers or power drills? The answer is it really depends on the job, right? So what are note names good for? Here is what analyzing Twinkle Twinkle with note names looks like. Everything's going to be in the key of C. I have C, C, G, G, A, G, F, F, E, E, D, D, C. And in the bottom it's C, 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 F, F, C, F, F, C, C, G, G, C. Now, note name resolution thinking is great for reading and writing music. It cuts off all the fat that you don't need, and then let's say that you're somebody who can read. I know that that sounds like a mythical creature for guitar players, but some pianists can actually read, and some guitar players can too. So you see a soprano line and a bass line, and you can just put them together based on note name, and the reader does not get any of the information about what the music is. The intervals, all of the harmonic analysis. Great musicians can maybe understand it on the fly, but the way of preserving the music, the way of writing the music, doesn't compact any of the information into the system of thinking. So you are just explaining to the reader the rhythms and the notes and nothing else. There's no more information in that system, right? So note names is just about getting somebody to perform your music, just to shoot it into somebody else's body. The next level of analysis, where most guitar players and musicians find themselves, is called intervallic. But inside intervallic thinking, there are 2 ways to go about it. Way number 1 is called tonal analysis. Way number 2 is called modal analysis. Let's take a look at tonal analysis first. Tonal analysis means that we measure everything to the key center. Now, this is something we all know how to do when it comes to the bass. Meaning, we name the bass 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 5, 1. Now we're going to do the same thing to the melody. The melody now is going to be 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. If you don't understand intervals, that's something you're going to have to study. Here's a crash course. 1, flat 2, 2, flat 3, 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, sharp 5, 6, flat 7, 7, 1. Now, tonal analysis of melody is super useful when you're composing. When you're improvising, you tend to think more modally. Let's see what a modal analysis of the melody would be. The first thing to understand about modal analysis is that you never analyze the bass modally. Why? Well, modal means that one keeps changing as the bass notes change. So think about what that means in the context of the song that we are given, Twinkle Twinkle. The first 4 notes are 1, 1, 5, 5 of that C. Then we go to this note that is the 6th of the scale, but as the bass note moves to F, that's the 3rd of this F. Then it goes back to the 5 of C. The 1 of F, the 1 of the 4 chord, the 3 of the 1 chord C, the 5 of G, and then the 1 of the 1 chord. That's confusing. Who would think modally, you might ask yourself? Well, we all do. There are tasks that are easier to perform that way. Like if I say put 9s on the chords, meaning the 2nd degree, it's way easier to say put 9s on all the chords, so I have C9, F9, and G9. D9, instead of saying put the 2 on the 1 chord, put the 5 on the 4 chord, put the 6 on the 5 chord, explaining it tonally. Or play an F major arpeggio in C, you wouldn't think play the 4th, the 6th, the root, and the 3rd. You would just say play 1, 3, 5, 7, starting from F in the key of C. Also, if you ever read a chord chart, 100% of the way that we write chord symbols is modal. People always say, oh, you don't use modes in jazz. People have always used modality as a system in jazz. If I tell you E7, what is E7? That 7, the chord symbol, means 1, 3, 5, flat 7. When you see a dominant 7 chord symbol, that's what it always means. It's like an algebra drill where X equals the letter name. Meaning if E is 1, find 1, 3, 5, flat 7. C major 7 is 1, 3, 5, 7. If C equals 1, find the 3, 5, and 7. D sharp minor 7 flat 5 means 1 flat 3 flat 5 flat 7 with 1 equaling D sharp. So it's a modal system that treats that temporary root as 1 and tells you to find things, which is super useful when you're playing over changes. Now the disadvantage of the modal system is that it makes the bass notes non-flexible, meaning the moment you switch bass note, you switch your analysis. For instance, if I play a D minor instead of the F in the harmony, now it's the 5th of that D minor. So it changes the way I analyze the relationship between melody and harmony. Now keep in mind, you never ever analyze the bass motion modally, meaning it's never 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's a system that is retarded because it packs no information in it. What I do in jazz most of the time as an improviser is analyze the bass motion tonally while analyzing the soprano motion, the solo itself, modally to understand it over the changes. But a composer tends to analyze everything tonally to where he can control the harmony and change it. Now let's talk about harmonic analysis. What we're going to do now is take a look at the first level of harmony called diatonic harmony. The concept comes from stacking thirds. If I stack thirds in my scale, I get 7 sounds. Most of you know this, and the rest of you who don't are basic bitches. What's wrong with you? Learn some harmony. The 1 chord is C major 7, the 2 minor is D minor 7, 3 chord is E minor 7, 4 chord is F major 7, 5 chord is G7, dominant. Then I have the 6 chord A minor 7, and finally the 7 chord B half diminished, minor 7 flat 5. I'm going to lump them into 3 groups: tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Tonic means home. C major and A minor, it's relative minor. The second group is called subdominant. It means distancing. Think about like going to the store, going somewhere else. D minor, the 2 minor chord, and F major 7. They're interchangeable. Then finally, I have my dominant side of the scale, the G7 and the B half diminished. Also interchangeable. Think about those like a phone call, hey, come home to C or A minor. Okay, now let's take a look at Twinkle Twinkle again and analyze it harmonically, just with the original. I have tonic, subdominant, tonic, subdominant, tonic, dominant, tonic. All right. Now, with diatonic substitutions, without thinking, I know I can switch tonic for tonic, subdominant for subdominant, and dominant for dominant. So now the harmony is going to change to be this. That worked, but in what sense? A Twinkle Twinkle connoisseur is going to notice that that felt different. right? The harmony has a way of coloring the melody. It has a relationship with it. What we did is we changed the harmonic structure underneath, but we kept its function, meaning it still felt like home, but now it's sad home. It still felt like distancing, but now it's sad distancing, the subdominant. It still felt like a phone call to go home with the G, but now it's a darker phone call. There's one chord I didn't talk about that's diatonic, which is E minor, the 3 minor chord of the key. Now you can use it as tonic or as dominant. In classical music, they call it the median chord. So it can replace either C or A minor or G or B half diminished. But you can't use it if C or F, the notes, are in the melody, meaning the 1 or 4 of the scale, or if you're thinking modally, the flat 2 or flat 6 of E minor. So these. But the second note of the melody, when it was tonic, was G. So I can use E minor there. Let's hear it. So C. Different take on that harmony. I used E minor in place of the G, and I used it in place of the C, meaning as a tonic function and as a dominant function in that specific tune. Now, you can like it, you can not like it, but it's an option. And this is how you use substitutions. Now, there's one more topic we're going to cover in this video, which is the beginning of jazz harmony. What jazz composers said is, well, we don't really like the concept of subdominant. It's too churchy. Instead of that, we're going to keep turning the music around. We're going to use cadences. So whenever the music goes to 4, instead of that, we can use what's called a 2/5. Now, where does the music go to 4 in Twinkle Twinkle? Here's the first place. So in place of that motion to F, I can use a motion to D, G. Check this out. Let's hear that with full chords. It goes to F again. So now I changed my harmony to 1, 2, 5, 1 in place of the F, then 2, 5, back to 1 in place of the F again, and then I have that G, 2, 5, 1 again. So my harmony is twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, using nothing but 2, 5, 1s. So this ability to use 2, 5, 1s again and again is very, very essential to really understand jazz harmony and what it does. You're constantly taking out subdominant functions that exist in simpler kinds of music, in church music, and replacing them with cadences again and again and again. Alrighty, here's your homework. Here are a few versions to learn for Twinkle Twinkle. In the next episode, we're going to cover secondary dominance. You don't want to miss it. It's going to sound something like this.